I got pregnant at a super young age. I was 14 when I got pregnant with my son. And that kind of changed the trajectory of my life. Really gave me a label as a bad kid or unworthy or dirty. I just really lived up to that label. A lot of drinking and drugs, and I was a nurse, and I had 2 DUIs, and they wanted to take my nursing license. I was still drinking at the time, and I said, I'm not going to follow the rules. So they suspended my license, ended up taking my license, and that's kind of where everything went south. I was in a really abusive relationship, very low self-worth, and that kind of was a kicker for me, and I just made some really poor decisions. Ultimately, it led to me being hooked on methamphetamines, on the streets, homeless, without any family, and just alone. I was arrested, which ultimately saved my life. I called out to Jesus on the floor in the jail, and I just said, I don't want to do it my way anymore. I want your will, I want your way. And I literally watched him open all the doors in jail as I surrendered and learned how to surrender to his will. I got out of jail, and again, I didn't have any family here, and I'm thankful for that because it led me to the Bethlehem house, which was ultimately where I found Chariots for Hope.
We exist to demonstrate God's love by removing transportation barriers for amazing people like Megan. We got to know her more. We got to know her struggles, her challenges, her victories. She's the type of person we wanted to help because she was investing in herself.
We say all the time at Chariots for Hope, it's way beyond the car. Megan came to us with a need.
I didn't have a vehicle. I was using the bus system. I mean, I remember being pregnant in the summer, walking 7 miles to the closest town to try to get job applications, and I finally just, I was like, I'm not doing this. That's where I met Chariots and all of you wonderful people. And
the Blessing Day is by far our most favorite component of this ministry. This is where we physically and literally get to see a transportation barrier be removed.
And from the donor's perspective, honestly, whether it's a Jumpstart sponsor or the vehicle donor, you can physically touch and see and feel your donation in motion, which is huge. Every recipient has a story. Chariots is absolutely story-driven. Megan has touched us tremendously through her story. She was chosen for one of our incredible opportunities for the community to get involved, which is a Jumpstart sponsorship. And her particular vehicle was at a business called Wilhelm Mortgage, and so Jeremy and his team were there to celebrate. They help fix the car, they provide the warranty on the car. That's what a Jumpstart sponsor does.
She was clueless.
I had no idea, which is so crazy to me. Never in a million years did I think it was this. I don't know why. And then it just kept getting better and better. We get there, we pull up, I don't think anything of it. We get in the office and they're like, oh, we're gonna do this thing outside. It's super nice out.
She showed up thinking that she was gonna sign paperwork, and we just had 40 or 50 people there to celebrate and cheer her on.
Everybody's standing there, and somebody was like, Megan, no, this is for you. And I was like, what?
She walked around the corner and saw that car, and I know, as you could just see, just this relief, this burden just be released. We appreciate donors and supporters like Jeremy coming together, believing in our mission, supporting and sponsoring these folks, because we just simply can't do it alone.
Having your own vehicle to be able to get to the things that are necessary, to be able to get your kids to daycare, to be able to get to work, to be able to Bible studies and all the things you need to stay healthy. It's just a freedom. I think a lot of people take it for granted.
That day that the community comes together and celebrates, it's overwhelming. That's when we start seeing impact. And so it's been awesome to be able to reflect back, look at Megan's journey, and see the real impact that a car can have in this type of city. She's blessing and serving thousands of people through this van, picking up furniture and picking up people and taking them to critical medical appointments in their job. And we want to continue to help her.
We had a jail and prison ministry at one time, and I would literally drive to go pick these people up from prison and bring them back to a discipleship house or whatever. Just watching God work through Chariots was unbelievable. That was one of my biggest steps of faith, believing and seeing it happen, and then just knowing that there's really good people in the world. Because going through all that stuff, you don't think there's anybody who really cares and really wants to help you. And when God starts to put those people back in your life and you realize there are good people in the world who do want to help you and they don't want anything in return, it just makes you want to give back. Like you just want more and more and more of it.
She came to us as a recipient. She's part of our community. She ended up working for us at a time.
God opened some doors for me to work here. I started doing like the events pieces and some of the onboarding and some of the applications and things like that. And so just got to really love on some people. Just being a part of those blessings on a weekly basis and seeing
goodness.
everything from the back end of things was so amazing. Every single blessing, I just bawl my eyes out because I know that it's God's hand and I know how it is on the other end of it.
She's pouring back into the new applicants that are coming into our program. God used her in a mighty way to kind of give back to a program that helped her move forward.
Well, and Megan will tell you too that she's utilized that car to help others. She used that car for ministry purposes. They would cook food and they would put it in the back of their van and they would serve people. They help move people out of that van. So she not only utilizes it for her and her family, but beyond that.
In the midst of all of that, had some transportation issues during that time. And if I was struggling, I just had a baby. I was at home by myself, and then I went through a separation with my husband, and I really started to notice, I need a little bit more help.
Every time that she shows up to an event, to a class, you just see Jesus all over her face. She shows up and she's ready to serve.
Showed up and we had some fun and reconnected, and through that, I was able to apply for the emergency grant, being a single mom and not having worked. I was struggling even to pay the insurance. At the time, to be able to have that grant and to have those things looked at and secured to know this is what it is, let us help you with that so that you can have the peace of mind so you can get to the next step. And so I was able to, through that process, drive my vehicle to get my kids to daycare, get them enrolled in daycare and start a new job and get to that next level. But I wouldn't have been able to do that without Chariots.
I've never seen somebody so confident in their faith and knowing that the Lord will provide. And we witnessed it multiple times for Megan.
She's had to overcome things that most people can't even dream. It's pretty powerful when you sit back and reflect on what she's been through and what she's overcome and the joy that's still on her heart. We think that a lot of times going into these relationships that this ministry is going to benefit and impact them, and it does, but there's something special there when you go into that and it's mutual.
When they say it's beyond the car, it is. It's just, even when I came back into community and it was what do you need? How can we help? Whether it's helping me move, getting my vehicle fixed, even Jason even offered to pay my taxes. And that's just a big deal. They just want to make sure that you can get to that next level to be successful in life. And I'm super grateful for you guys.
Love you, Megan.
Love you, Megan.